and this is the thing, the Asasani, the LRC assistants in the stars, Stella Artforms. It is an art. It is an art to be that classy and artsy in style, carry it in style as they do. It is all class, but a lot of large ass in their class. They're extremely hilarious. At last, it is to start. The raw art is deluxe. Yeah, so as the sun Ra continues his movements, be it what they are, holes in the heart, black hole sun, I don't know, whatever, his explosions, and where we're at in the cycle of things. We're all changing on every single fucking level, like I was saying at the start. But also that opens us up to so many more discoveries within ourselves and within the communication with our star family. And I believe more and more people will realize just how arsey, classy, funny as hell these guys are. Spider-Man. God, like, seriously. I mean, they're teaching me a side of myself that I've never been able to express in the human world, which is, it is an aspect of myself. And they're the only ones that have been able to be the mirror of that for me, in order for me to experience it within myself. And this is what we're going to start developing. It is a snowball effect of consciousness and personality, character development, and they are there, like wherever you're at on your journey, they're right there with you to play with you, interplay with you, relate with you, in order for you to grow your ourselves. And Jesus Christ Almighty, the power is compelling you to ride that frickin' dragon, ride that roller coaster. And can continue to ride that, and have fun with it, because the having fun with it is where the growth happens, because you're willing to see what's over the next hill. That's where the growth is, when you're willing to look. You can't be doing that all the time. And this is what I've found, like I'm super keen to see what's around the next bend or over the next hill, but that's the growth phase, like that takes energy, and especially consciousness development. Like, mental, emotional, like having your mind blown by seeing something for the first time. It is exhausting, but so you can't do that all the time. But so you gotta have the boring, like, oh my god, like it's the end of camp, I'm so depressed that like I'm not gonna see my friends ever again, and like that kind of feeling, end of camp feeling, like you gotta go home. Home's boring. But it's that when it's when you're exhausted and you actually need to just go look at nothing and cry, because you've just had your mind blown. You've just seen something that it's a miracle. You never thought that you'd ever see that before. You've just gone around a bend that no one's ever been before and seen something and experienced something that just like, and you can't do that constantly. And so this is the roller coaster, and I'm on it continuously. I have fucking miracle days, and then I don't want to be here anymore days. I have many of those. Because I am turning a lot of freaking corners, and I'm going over a lot of hills that I've never been before, which is absolutely mentally, emotionally, consciously, psychically exhausting. And I don't always get that. I don't always get that I, like, on so many different levels, I'm having these new experiences and processing all this new stuff, even if it's so amazing, like thought energy. It literally wipes me out equally on all those levels. It's literally like, fucking hell, this man, I tell you what, it's literally like he's been at me. You know what I mean? Like, constantly, like, I'm literally getting horny right now, because the energy that he is putting into me right now is like, there's only so long you can kind of do that before you literally have to have a break. But that on every level, emotionally, consciously, psychically, like, and I'm talking about seeing things that you as a human has never seen before. That level of mind being blown emotionally, psychically, consciously, like level of growth, it kind of it takes it out of you, like a good hard ride with a guy that knows how to ride. You know what I'm talking about, like there's a good ride, and then there's a fucking good ride. Exhaustion level, like taking it emotionally, physically, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, one shot for the night. Oh my god. See, he's blown my mind again. He's taken my words away. See, this is when my energy travels south, and I've got no wise words left. That's when he knows he's done it right. His job is done. He's walking away now. Feathers are puffing. my god, they're so funny. This is the thing, like the relationship that we have with our spiritual guides. I think, you know, I'm seeing more of it in the stuff that I watch anyway, that the attitude and connection is changing, which is so beautiful to see, because it is more of a natural, authentic, sovereign connection, human connection on all levels. Human, like sexy and clever and just normal, you know, but next level human connection. It's so beautiful. And this is what I get from the dragons and the cats, you know what I mean? It's this, it's the play, it's the play that's added in there, and absolutely non-judgmental, accepting your full self. And that's where the power is. Not making yourself into a certain thing that you think that you have to be in order to connect spiritually. You know what I mean? It is just authenticity of a human that takes you to the next level of beingness and connectedness. And then you're able, like, that's what they want to connect to. They'll connect with you on any level because they're here to help and teach. But what really fucking fires them up and gets them all frisky, like freaking why I've got the freaking dancing behind me right now, is sending me all sorts of energies, is the fact that it's the sovereignty, it is the authenticity, it is the self-sovereignty that is the key to us rising to where we need to be to expand our consciousness and grow as a species. And it's that, because it's that allows us to rise above the suppression of religion and hierarchy and authority, the government, the rules that have smothered us, our development for so long, societal, freaking judgmental, even relationship dynamics, like from every angle we've been kind of smothered. And it's this self-sovereignty and authenticity vibe that is the sweet spot of the tornado that rises the cream to the top, above all the other shit. Tornado of shit. It's just it is self-sovereignty is the quick zip up the middle of the tornado of life. If you can find your sweet spot, which is self-sovereignty, you are inside the eye of the storm, which is the sweet spot, and you just rise without any trouble. And you know, it's just like that's where it all is, in the sweet spot of the tornado. You are inside the storm but outside of it, and that's where the it is. That's where the all is. That's where the eye of Ra is. That's where self-sovereignty, that's where, X marks the spot. That's where no gravity. That's where the infinity is the eye of the storm, the eye of Ra. So you're like in this reality, but not of it. Everything is happening around you, but you are not impacted by it. You are in the calm while the storm is going on around you. You are not impacted by drama, by shit, by time, by anything. You are in it, you are of it, but not affected by it, and you can rise freaking as high as you want, and you are connected to the heavens. And that is the sweet spot, and that's where you channel, that's where that's where everything is. Yeah. I will leave it there for tonight. Seven's the height. Yeah, I'll leave it there. Seventh heaven. Seventh dimension. 7 T's. The 7 T's. Make love, not war. Love is that eye of the storm. The war is the tornado, the twister. I'll just quickly put this in because they've been kind of bringing it up. The new, I watched the new Twister movie. I don't know what it's called, but it's the kind of new version of Twister. And, pretty similar to the old one. But they, bring up this metaphor of the twister, and so in this movie they had this kind of scanning laser radar thing that they were doing, and they had to put three radars down to get a really good look at the tornado. So they would put one down, and then they would put another one down, and then the third one had to go in front of the tornado, so it would get a 3-way view of the 3D, 5D, whatever view of the tornado. So they had to get a view from each side, 3 sides. And the last one had to be in the path of the tornado. So it literally, 2 at the back and 1 in the path. So the risky one was them putting it in front of this big tornado coming straight at it. So the metaphor that they were kind of putting in place is in these movies they kind of say, it's the same with kind of first one with the Dorothy and releasing the little things to try and get an idea of how the tornado works, because I guess they still have so many problems today, with how they work and how you get advanced warning and everything like this. So in this movie, rather than releasing the Dorothys from within, they had this new equipment where you're getting a really good picture from 3 angles on the outside. And so that's kind of like the metaphor of the twister being life. We're all trying to understand it, right? And generally speaking, we're all kind of just getting this 2D view of just the sides of it. That's our 2 eyes. Getting a look from the front and the part, being in the path of it. That's so freaking scary that most people don't go there. But this 3rd vision, it is our 3rd eye. It is standing strong in the path of the storm to get the vision from all sides of life, ourselves, everything. To get the 3 views of everything. So in this movie, it's of the twister. So imagine these first 2 radars is everyone's point of view of life. It's kind of 2D. You kind of get just this view of life, the view of the twister from like the backside, and I'm kind of getting this kind of the buffalo view of going into the storm to get through it quicker, like the courage it takes to go through the storm, riders on the storm, to go in, rather than just stand back and watch or run away. Anyway, there's a few different kind of metaphors there, but so like in this movie, they had to get in front of the storm, set up their back 2 radars, get in front of the twister, and put down the fucking roots of the radar and say, yep, it's coming at me. I'm putting it here and I'm getting the view. So they get the view from 3 sides, the full view of the tornado twister from every angle. So they now have a 5D freaking picture of every side of the tornado, of the twister, of life, of themselves, of everything. So there's that. That's how you get your 3rd eye vision, is to see everything from all the angles. To get the view, to get on the inside of that twister to the sweet spot, you're gonna have the balls of the buffalo, but also like in the first twister, it was Dorothy that they released into the middle of the twister. So you've got to be willing to go around the twist. You got to be willing to go around the bend. You got to be willing to go into the storm to be released inside of the twister. Trusting the vision that you that, you know, that you got yourself and you're going in. Going in. I've been watching these videos of like the opal hunters and the, you know, how they like polish the opals up and the gemstones, and this one guy like says, you know, when he goes into this gemstone, like when they start seriously like cutting it or polishing it to see what's inside the stone, he's like, I'm going in. And that's what it is. Like, you've got to make the choice. I'm going in. It's my life. That twister is my life. I'm going in. Or I'm always going to be on the outside. Just imagining what it could be like in the sweet spot of my life. You've got to go in. You've literally got to jump. You got to make the leap. You've got to walk into the eye of the storm. You got to give it a go in order to know what it is. Like, you've got the 3 radars on the outside, you can kind of see, but you'll never know what's on the inside. You can't know. You can visualize, you can imagine, you can guess, you can simulate, you can whatever. There's only one way to find out, and that's to jump in. It's like looking at a pool and imagining what it'd be like to be in it, but just looking. You've got a great imagination. You can look at it from every angle. You can test the water temperature. You can test the pH of the water. You can watch other people and see by the looks on their faces what their experience of it is. You will never truly know what it is until, you know, for you, until you jump in. So you make the jump or you don't. And this is the thing. In the Twister movies, like especially this one, you know, the recent one, there's a lot of like cowboy twister people, and you know, they end up dying, like they just recklessly, without preparation or whatever. You know, people die in twisters. That's life. And this is why we're constantly learning, and this is why we're being taught, and this is why we use our, you know, our wisdoms, and when we're ready and when we're prepared enough, when we know enough skills, like jumping in the pool, we know that we know how to swim. Then it's just a matter of jumping in. We could be worried about the temperature of the water. We could even test the temperature of the water with a thermometer and then guess what that would feel like on our bodies when we enter the water. We could kind of like try and assume what the feelings would be. You know, and we could, you know, try and adjust. We could put a wetsuit on. We could, you know, like frick. Like in this movie, these guys had these like, they would park their car and their car would literally kind of drill into the ground, so they knew their car was anchored. So they did it the smart way. They literally drove into the storm, anchored their vehicle down into the ground, and watched the storm come over them. They did it in, a logical, experimental, they used all the tools that they had available to them to enter the storm, prepared, not willy-nilly, dangerously, you know what I mean? It's like that, the sailors making their, spending their whole lives on the beach, designing their ship or making their ship before they set sail into, the seven seas, sailing their life. Like, they were just, some people set sail a bit too early when they're not prepared and their boat leaks or whatever. And then there's other people that spend their whole lives on the shore, making sure, like overly worried about every little thing because, they're just too scared to make that leap to set sail. The sweet spot is in the middle, where you logically prepare supplies. It's a good ship, good design, ready to set sail. At some point, you got to say, I'm ready, and to jump in. And to find, finding that sweet spot of when you're ready, that's mastery, that's the wisdom, that's where you find the wisdom, that's where you learn. You may go a bit too soon and end up being washed up on the shore and have to do it again, so be it. But, at least you tried. You could spend your whole life on the beach and never actually enter the water. At some point, you either try, or you never you accept that you'll never find out type thing. You can only find out if you try. And that's the moral of the story. You want to go swimming, you got to dive in to the pool. You want to find the sweet spot in the eye of the storm, you've got to go into the storm and see what you will find and trust that you'll be able to survive. And that's life. That's how you find the sweet spot. And it's pretty sweet if you find it. And then the next step is what makes you take that leap. And it's and what makes you keep making that leap, keep holding that ground. What makes it worthwhile? What empowers us to make those decisions? And how it's those things that empower us, that make life worth living, that make that challenge us, and that give us the motivation to take these leaps of faith. And it's love. It's love and desire. Desire to know and experience and to share experiences and to discover life, discover yourself, discover more, to be more you, to see more you, to feel more you. And when you get that, you realize it's nothing without sharing it, being able to share it with others, with those that you love and those that love you. That is the point of it all. And that's why we explore and, push each other and teach each other and lift each other up. And search for each other and take those adventures with each other. Yeah, that's the point. Connection of self, connection of source, and connection with love and with others, like with those special people that you can connect with. It's like those in Twister, you get the sisters, like the tornadoes that join. It's pretty special when you get that you can stand in your own sweet spot and be joined with someone else. It's like setting the sail on your ship and finding your special island paradise, and someone else sees that island paradise in the same way that you do, and you can share that paradise together without wanting to push that person away or control that person. You equally love and enjoy that paradise together. And decide to sail and discover more places together, because your viewpoint on each other and life is so similar that it advances you rather than repels you. You know what I mean? It's like these two tornadoes locked in and making each other more powerful, rather than taking the energy from the other one. And that's what a relationship should be. It should make you more powerful, more strong, willing to explore, more confident, more outgoing, more you, in order to find more you. And you do that for them too. And then you've doubled each other, like that's what any relationship should be. And that brings me back to the start, like with Dothan, it's like this ladder, like one feminine foot up, masculine foot up, feminine foot up, masculine foot up, feminine foot up, masculine foot up, and you're just forever climbing the ladder together. and you realize it's a dance, and it can be as sexy as you want. It's not work, it's not climbing a ladder, it's sex, it's a dance, it's freaking swaying, it's easy as breathing, it's in and out, and you don't even have to work for it. If you're doing it together, you're just doing this. It's breathing, easy as breathing, and you're in the sweet spot together. That's bliss. That's the dream.